You know, wouldn't it be super cool if we could save money, ooh, I'm saving, and we could go out and we could spend money on the things we want? Wouldn't that be awesome if we could just save and spend at the same time without any negative things happening? Yeah, that would be cool, right? You're just gonna go out and spend and spend and spend, and you're gonna save, but it's the same dollar.
Oh, come on, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Well, it was until I learned the process. Until I learned one of the biggest secrets of the wealthy that literally allows you to take the same dollar, save it, and spend it without losing any earning potential. You know, people ask me all the time, they're like, well, you know, if I pay cash for a car, I lose the opportunity cost of the money I spent on the car. And I agree. If you save money to buy something, we'll call it a car, and then you buy the car, that money that you use to buy the car can never work for you again. You have lost the earning potential. The opportunity cost is what you lost on that money because you bought a car. And in most cases, the car will depreciate in value. So most people will finance cars, which is actually worse. Because when you finance cars, now what you're doing is you didn't lose the earning potential of the money, but most people just leave that money sitting in a bank account or leave that money sitting in a CD where it's barely earning enough to pace inflation. And then they go out and they finance it. And then they finance the car at current rates, which today are right around 7%. So if you finance the car, now you're making monthly payments, which you think is okay because it doesn't feel as bad. You can still look at your bank account. Your bank account's got money. Oh, I feel so secure. I feel so good. But now every month you're bleeding. Those monthly payments you're making, it's like the phrase, death by 1,000 cuts. Now you can look at the phrases and the different things of that meaning, but it comes down to failure. A failure that occurs when many small problems that may not have been fatal on their own have a cumulative effect. Cumulative effect. Think about that. Death by 1,000 cuts. In society today, people finance everything. A little monthly payment here, Netflix payment there, this payment here. And eventually, they are living paycheck to paycheck. And some people are living upside down, which results in usually bankruptcy. What we're going to talk about is how to save and spend without losing the cumulative earning potential of your money. So let's dive into this, because it doesn't sound right. How can you save $1 and spend $1 but never lose the earning potential on that original dollar? Doesn't even sound right, but it is. It involves changing where your money goes first. You see, you have to understand how the financial system works. See, when you take money and you put it into a bank, the same thing always happens. The bank's in control. The bank's gonna earn more than you are. How much more? 400 to 1,300% according to BauerFinancial.com. There isn't a bank out there that does not make 400 to 1,300% more than you do on the dollars you leave there. How? Well, that's their business. That's the business they're in. You gave them your money. You gave up control of your money. And therefore, the bank can do whatever it wants with the money you left on deposit there. The bank can take that money out and they can lend that money to somebody else that you don't know, that you'll never ever be able to approve or disapprove the loan. And they're gonna make a higher interest rate than what the bank pays you. Fact. That's how a bank makes 400 to 1,300% more than you do. So I learned this almost a decade ago, and all it was is changing one thing and adding one step. Imagine by changing just one thing and adding one step, you could change your entire financial future, but not just for yourself, for all your family members from now into the future. I'm being serious. That is what you can do if you learn how this concept works. See, back in the day, it was always known as the secret of the wealthy. Why? Not because it was only available to the wealthy, but because only the wealthy understood this. It wasn't until about 20 years ago when the late R. Nelson Nash brought this to the public's eye with his book called Becoming Your Own Banker. He literally talked about a concept that was used by the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the Stanleys, Ray Kroc, Walt Disney, Doris Christopher, right up to the sitting president today. They all have used this, but every one of those names, if you really think about it, with the exception of maybe Doris Christopher, they were all wealthy families. So what do they know that you don't? Nothing really. But they learned something that you haven't learned. It's not that they don't know something, because all of you, I think, in a very simple way can understand banking, right? You understand banking. You take the money you earn, you put it into the bank. The bank pays you interest on that money, but then the bank lends that money out at a higher interest rate, making a spread in the middle. Banking, right? Then when that money goes out, it comes back to the bank, goes back out, comes back to the bank, goes back out, and it keeps doing that over and over and over again. Think of it as a circle. The bank takes your money in the circle, moves it around the circle however many times it wants in multiple loans. When the loans pay back, it comes back, they lend it back out, and a lot of times they charge a higher rate, but all the money ends up in the same place, the bank. But the bank makes all of that spread, because the bank was in control. So how is it that you can effectively save and spend at the same time? Well, you must change where the money starts, where the money goes first. Now, what money? Because this is what confuses a lot of people. People are always like, well, should I just put my whole paycheck there? No. Do you save your whole paycheck? Absolutely not. So let's start with just the amount you save today. And some people say, well, I'm not saving anything. I'm pretty much living paycheck to paycheck. Is there any hope for me? Yes, there's a lot of hope for you. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, I know one thing. I know that you've got debt, because you got to be making money. And if you're not making money, this video is not for you. But if you're making money, but all the money seems to be going out the door, it's because you got too many debts. Too many people getting in your pocket. Too many people that you're making monthly payments of principal and interest to. So the process for everybody would be change where the money goes first, but more importantly, learn the process called the infinite banking concepts. Learn how to become your own bank. So if you're giving money away every single month to the creditors, let's change that. Slowly, because you're living paycheck to paycheck, so we got to do this slowly, but let's start paying off those debts from lowest balance to highest balance. Lowest balance to highest balance, regardless of the interest rate. Even if your lowest balance is a 0% interest rate, I know that doesn't make sense, but trust me, it's about the velocity of money more so than anything else. If you pay that debt off, the second thing you got to do, and this is where people don't do it right. They pay debts off, but they stop there. If you pay the debt off and you take the amount you were paying every single month on the debt and you then recycle and recapture that money back to the original source where your money started, which I said you're going to change where that money goes first, you effectively now benefit from velocity of money. Because now the money you were giving away is now your money to keep, your money to compound. And if you change where it goes first, I've said this a lot of times, some of you think I'm just repeating myself, I'm trying to get you to know what I'm saying. Where is it that we're going to change? Like, where are we going to put your money? We're going to put it into a machine. We're going to put it into a machine that's been around for hundreds of years that you probably know about, but let's not talk about what it is. Let's talk about what it does. That machine where we're going to put your savings, that machine pays you guaranteed interest for the rest of your life. And not only is that machine going to pay you guaranteed interest, every single year, if you do this right, you're going to get a dividend. And then that interest and dividends are going to earn compounding interest. But the compounding interest is going to be earned tax-free if it's designed properly. So we've got guaranteed interest, dividends, growing, compounding on a tax-free basis, but now it's protected also against judgments and liens because of where the money is in most states. And also now, when you use that money, your money never leaves your account. So this is where people get tripped up. I'm not telling you what it is yet. I'm telling you what it does. It is a place that earns guaranteed interest and dividends, tax-free, and when you use the money, you take it out as a loan, which means your money never left your account, which means your money is earning uninterrupted compounding interest while you got to use the money at the same exact time. Remember, save and spend. So how could that possibly be true? How can I earn interest and dividends uninterrupted while still having the ability to use the money? That sounds like a scam. That sounds too good to be true. It's not. It's actually quite simple. Let me explain it. That machine, you want all those things, right? You want what that machine does, right? Do you know what it is? It's a specially designed whole life insurance policy from a mutually owned insurance company that pays dividends. Mutually owned so that you participate with the insurance company. Essentially, by you being a policyholder of that policy, you become an owner in a roundabout way with the insurance company. Mutually owned. Make sense? So now, let me explain how you can earn uninterrupted while still being able to use it. You put your money in that specially designed whole life policy. And it is specially designed. I hope you picked up on that. It is not a normal whole life. That money's there. Now all of a sudden you want to start paying off some debts because you don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. And some of you might be saying, well, how would I have got the money to put into the policy? I don't know. Figure it out. I had to, and I did it by starting small. Whatever little bit I could afford, I saved that money. I got it out of my checking account, the black hole, and into this account. At first it was difficult, but then I got used to it. I worked side jobs, I worked extra jobs. I did what it took to do this. When you take the money out of the policy, you're gonna take it out as a loan. Now I know that sounds bad, but let me explain. Your money, when you take a loan, does not leave that account that's paying you interest and dividends. What the insurance company effectively does is makes a loan to you from their general account. But the loan that they make to you, according to the insurance company, never needs to be paid back because what they did is they collateralized the loan with your cash value. So if you had 10 grand and you took 10 grand out, that 10 grand you took out from the insurance company is collateralized by the $10,000 that you have earning uninterrupted compounding interest in your cash value. But the reason the insurance company doesn't care if you pay it back, which you always should, but they don't care if you do, is because they subtracted that 10 grand from your death benefit. You see, the whole life insurance contract makes two promises. It promises you a guaranteed interest rate for the rest of your life, and it promises you a death benefit the day you die. But when you want to use the money when you're living, what they're going to do is loan that money from their general account, subtract it from your death benefit, collateralize it with your cash value. So therefore, that is how your money never loses compounding interest. It never stops working for you while you still get to use it and spend it. But now let's just go back to that debt. We take the money from the policy as a loan. We pay off the debt. We take the money you used to give to the debtor and we put that money back into the policy as a loan repayment. Now, when we do that, the money you gave away now becomes your money again. The interest rate that you used to pay on the debt is now the interest rate your money is earning because you're taking back your money. You're taking back the interest that you gave away. So effectively, if you paid a credit card 20% and you pay it back to your policy dollar for dollar, you are still paying yourself back at the same interest rate you were being charged by the debtor. If it's 20%, you're recycling and recapturing 20%, but that's not all. You see, the interest and dividends the insurance company is paying you and the interest that they charge you on the loan also creates a spread. Now, it doesn't happen right in the beginning, but over time, that spread goes up and up and up. Because if you're making more than you're spending, you are in a good place, right? They always say that. So if you're earning more interest and dividends than what they're charging you, you are effectively making a spread, just like a bank. Now, I know I just threw a lot at you right there. But effectively, I just wanted to plant the seed in your mind so you understand it is possible to save and spend at the same time. Now, on that same topic of saving and spending, I want to ask you to help save me. You're not really going to save me, but I want you to subscribe to this channel. Click that subscribe button. Right above, there's a little bell. Smash. Ow. Smash that bell. And that will notify you every time we put new content out. Now listen, as we wrap this episode up, I want you to understand that all I did was showed you how to take back the banking functions in your life, how to stop giving the banking functions to the banks, which are not there to benefit you, which never were there to benefit you. I'm telling you how to literally control the flow of your money. But not just that, I'm teaching you how you can become the bank. And by you being the bank, you will no longer have to use their money and pay them interest. You will always pay yourself interest. And your money will always earn interest, uninterrupted and guaranteed. Folks, thanks for joining me for this video. If you like this one, you're gonna really wanna check this video out. We'll see you on the next one.